Vaktus! It's good to talk to you today and also to all your little minions. And I'm here to talk to you to find out whether you are an evil genius or a sad fat guy in a basement. Now, Vaktus, I've heard that you are 20 to 24 years old. Vaktus, it's not Halloween. Why are you wearing a mask and playing with kids that are 10 to 15 years old? You're 20 years old. 20-year-olds don't play with 10 to 15-year-olds. And if they do, they shouldn't do it dressed as a drag queen. Anyhow, let's keep talking. Okay, now, most people, when they're 20 to 24 years old, have a little bit bigger objectives than to rule over a bunch of 10 to 12-year-olds. You know, most people, when they're 20 to 24-year-olds, they're going to college to make their parents proud. They might even buy a car so they can go to a job. Do you have a job, Vaktus? Because running the Vactovian Empire, it's not a job. It's kind of like a little man who used to be on a thing that said Fantasy Island, and he said, "The plane, the plane!" There was no plane. It was a Hollywood sound studio. You live in pixels. And you know why they get a job? So they can buy a house so they can move out of their parents' basement. Do you live in your parents' basements and play with your little 10-year-old friends? I kind of wonder. Oh, now, Vaktus. If you have a car, you might be able to play with someone who's not 10 or 12-year-olds, like a girl. But you know what, Vaktus? I bet this is what you really look like. Because who else who's 20 years old would make this image with a headdress? I don't know. I mean, I could see that if you looked like that, you'd want to play with 10 and 12-year-olds instead of her. Now, my advice, Vaktus, you need to find a way to play with someone like that. Now, you may not be able to play with that because she's the best, and you might just be okay. But you need to find a girlfriend. Because you don't want to play with 10 or 12-year-olds, but I'm going to get to that. I want to tell you a little story about life, okay? All right. I want to talk to you about Jared. Jared was a man who had it all. But Jared, much like I suspect you are, he used to be fat. And then he decided he liked foot-long veggie sandwiches. And you know what? He talked a company called Subway into giving him a lot of money because he went from being fat to skinny. And you know what happened? He became famous. And guess what he got? He got a house and a wife. And you know what? He even made some imaginary real friends. He met Kermit and Miss Piggy, and he went on Sesame Street. He did. Sesame Street. I can't spell it, but he went on Sesame Street, and everybody thought Jared was cool until last week. In fact, do you know what happened to Jared? Uh-oh! Jared couldn't stop playing with children. Now, in Jared's case, He played with 16 and 17-year-olds. And for playing with 16 and 17-year-old girls, he's getting between 17 and 15 years in jail. Now, I'm not saying anything, Vaktus, but you play, it seems like, with 12, maybe 10, 12-year-olds, and you dress up in drag. You might want to think about not playing with children. Someday, somebody might look on your computer, and one of your friends might send you a picture, and it could cost you 7 to 15 years of your life. So my advice, Vaktus, find some guy friends who have some girlfriends and go on a date. Go on a date. Get out of your parents' basement. Lose some weight. Graduate from college. Buy a car. Find a real girl that's not made out of pixels. And stop playing with 12-year-olds. You're twice their age. I know that it's scary. I know it's scary to leave your imaginary world. But I'd hate to see you in a little tiny cell, all by yourself, with just a friend named Jared. And so that's my thought to you, Vaktus. I know you're big and mighty in your imaginary world, but I'd hate for you to be saying, hey boss, it's the plane, it's the plane. And some big man tells you, no, Vaktus, it's just the prison van. Good night.